Hello, good evening, and namaste. So today I am here, as you can see in the title, research methodology, and obviously very important subject. Almost in all the areas and genres, we need research methodology, the fundamental knowledge of it when we deal with the higher level in our academia and in business world also. So today we'll be learning some of the fundamental things of research methodology. And if this is the case, then without any delay, let's move on. My name is Chetrati Bilsena, and today I'm going to make some sort of interpretation or review discussion on the topic research methodology. So this is what we are looking for. And okay, let's move on then. Whenever we say something about it, this is a very important concept that we actually go for this one research. Uh, Let me manage this. Okay, so uh, let's see. This is uh, fundamentals of research. Uh, you know, Fundamental means basic things that we need to know about research, and the definition of research obviously comes in the first position. Just a minute, I'll make it one thing is here. So let me manage it. Just a minute. Here is another things going on. And let me make it. Yes, now it is okay. And well, now okay. Research. What is research? The famous, writer Carlinger, Kerlinger, Carlinger, 2007. He says that research is a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of natural or social phenomena, guided by theory or hypothesis. So research can be guided by a theory or a hypothesis, and it can be a natural entity over the natural entity or event, or social entity or event. Let's say phenomenon, but it is systematic study, search. It is control and intro uh, and critical. So this is the investigation and study. In the same line, Kothari 2004, Kothari, Kothari 2004 highlights research is a careful, systematic, and patient study. It is not haphazard or disorder type of study. It is a systematic and careful study to discover new facts or to verify existing knowledge. There are two main purposes of the research. Either it is to discover new facts or to verify the existing theory or knowledge. Research is carried out as per the definition of the Kothari 2004. In a simple term, what you simply understand about research is obviously it is a structured search for knowledge. Research, it is a search, it is an investigation, study, an attempt to discover or find out the knowledge, which is obviously system, and it uses the logical steps, evidence, and analysis. So there are obviously the logical steps on the basis of which we put on the evidences over there and analyze that, on the basis of which we really can make the analysis of that research. This is what we understand about research. Now, let's go to the types of research. Obviously there are many types based on the different criteria that on the basis of which we can categorize them into different criteria. So, based on the logic of inquiry, there are two types of research. First one is inductive, that is from specific to general, specific observation to general theories, often used in the qualitative research. And example, for example, we observe the community behavior of the community or community behavior and developing a theory about social norms, how people react and interact in a society, on the basis of which first we observe their behaviors, their action and reaction, the pattern of interaction. After that, we move towards the social norms, which is obviously guided by a theory. Deductive research. Deductive is just opposite to the inductive one. Inductive is from the specific to the general, or the here we go for the general theory to the specific. We try to test those hypotheses, those theory with the examples. This is very much common in quantitative research. For example, many people they believe that there is a theory that education level affects income. If you are highly educated, obviously your income will also be higher. So this is the assumption. This is the theory or hypothesis. So this hypothesis is normally tested with the incidents that are available in the society. Nice. And based on the purpose, so research can be categorized on the basis of the purpose, why we carry out the research. There are, on the basis of purpose, there are two types of research. The first one is fundamental or basic. It generates the theories and it builds the knowledge. And it doesn't have that much implication to the immediate problems, what is going on in the particular context. Rather, it tries to develop a theory or knowledge which can be later on applied. So it is called peer research also. Mainly the Carlinger tells. This type of research is the pure research. And another one is applied one. This is also called the action research. The main aim of this research is to solve the immediate problems that are existing in a particular situation or context or organization and so on. So the first type is basic research, and the second one is applied one. And the first one develops a theory in general, and this can be adapted in different particular areas. And the second one is something like, the teacher might be facing some sort of problem inside a classroom, and to address that particular problem, they really go through the action research or applied research, we say. And another category of research or types of research is also based on the methods, the way how you carry out that research, the way that data you collect and analyze those data. It is either quantitative, so in quantitative, or qualitative. In quantitative, what happens, you uses numbers, measurements, and statistics, and obviously you focus on the objectivity, reliability, and generalization, and you carry out such type of methods, or you utilize such type of methods of research, quantitative research, mainly when you go for the surveys and experiments. Another is, qualitative research uses words, obviously, and meanings and text, interpretations and so on. And most of the time, it goes a little bit deeper in the person, right? But little bit deeper in the person. That is, in depth. For example, it focuses on the context where that particular events or that things happens, or how do people interpret it. So somehow more related to the social science researches. For example, how do we do that one is through the interviews, observations, and case studies, and so on. And there is, let's say that in the type of the research, also based on the methodologies, there is a paradigm shift. In the very beginning, there was the quantitative research. After that, qualitative is in the choice of so many people, mainly in the social science. Finally, both of the researchers have some sort of problems, or they neglect the particular areas. For example, quantitative, they just focus on the generalization, facts, number, what is in surface, and experiments tries to check the relationship between two variables through different types of hypotheses. Whereas qualitative does not look for the generalizations, and it does not experiments, it just want to show what is there in depth, mainly focused on the context. So both of them lacked some sort of things. So to overcome those lackings, those underestimation in research, there is another type, that is mixed method research. Um, so mixed methods everywhere. Nowadays, both quantitative and qualitatives are combined over there, and strength is, it balances the generalization in at one hand and the depth in another hand. So that is required over here. Let's move on the another type, based on the aim of inquiry. Particular research is based on the mainly we try to explore it because people don't know about this. This is brand new topic, or maybe the problem or challenges or something like that. The Gen Z movements in Nepal also can have the significance if you go through the exploratory. You want to explore it because people don't know more about this, and it also helps defines problems and hypotheses. It helps to define problems and hypotheses. That is the exploratory research. And another one is, that it's descriptive research. So it describes generally the characteristics or conditions. Examples are the like the census data. And we have explanatory or analytical research, where we try to analyze the reason why why things happens, or the relationship in the causal relationship, test the hypothesis of their explanatory. And another type of research also we have, that is participatory research, based on the whether the members of the researchers goes to the community and involve himself in the work at one hand, and it emphasizes mainly participatory approach, emphasizes the local knowledge of, because the researcher also big is participate there. Social transformation, it promotes the social transformation and empowerment, and empowerments, or caste, or particular group of people who are not believe that they are empowered. So this is all about the types of research that in fundamental levels we understand those things over here. So my dear friends and the students, let's move to the objectives of research. Why do you carry out research? What are the main and common objectives? If we look the reference of Kothari and Carlinger, we can find some of the objectives, like for example the most and more important purpose or objective of the research is to discover new knowledge. We carry out the research to discover new knowledge. And another one is we really want to describe a particular phenomena, events, or situations accurately. So describe the things also, event and phenomena. We need the research. Another objective of the research is that one. And we also carry out the research to test and verify the existing theories and to give some sort of update over that theory. That is also important purpose or objectives of the carrying out research. And sometimes we try to establish the causal relationship between two variables, two concepts, and two events. So for that one also, what we do is we carry out the research. And obviously, applied research mainly carried out to solve the particular and practical problems at the real ground in the field. And it also explores new areas of study. Research actually gives you the different new and innovative areas of study. So what you need to understand over here is, the objectives also to some extent relies and influence as per the type of the research. You have different types of research, and those are carried out to fulfill the different objectives that you need to know. So obviously, another components of research is research problems. So what research problem is? Some people say research, rational also. When we say something about problem, obviously we need to understand that problem most of the time in general, world, what we know is problem is somehow negative things, but in research, problem is the opportunity. If there is no problem, there is no research at all. So research problem is a difficulty or gap or unclear situation that requires systematic investigation. There is a gap, there is not clarity, and there is somehow difficulty to interpret that, to discover, to test that. Then that is called technically the research problem. The research, you should raise the research problem before you carry out the research. So the research problem is always, it must be a clear problem, and it should be a researchable and significant and feasible. Those are the qualities of a good research problem. Okay, then there is a rational of research. That means rationally, or means the reason why the study is necessary. There is a gap in literature, so if you find out something new and you fulfill the gap of the literature. And social significance also, it has the social significance or importance, policy or practice needs. Either it promotes to policy, to formulate a policy, or gives the foundation to formulate or structure the policy or practice needs. A theoretical contribution is also another important things that are the reasons or rationale why you carry out the research. So research questions and hypothesis formation, formulation, research, questions and hypothesis formulation, research question. Research questions should, on the basis of the problem, we ask some questions, and on the basis of which we formulate the objectives. Then finally, we find out the findings, major findings, and conclusions. So, research questions should be clear because through which we try to find out the subject, the subject of the investigation. It should be clear, focused, and there must be the intent to answer, and there should be specific, researchable, and linked to the problem. For example, what factors influence rural women participation in digital payments? How do teachers perceive action research? So these are some of the examples of the research questions and hypothesis formulation. Hypothesis, as per the view of Carlinger's, a hypothesis is a tentative testable statement. It is a statement And tentative means yes, something like that, but it can be tested by the relationship between variables. For example, higher education level increases the income, or so on. Characteristics of a good hypothesis is per Corlinger is that hypothesis should be testable, specific, based on theory and predictive. So there is another important components when we talk, research process. So at that time, research process, both Kothari and Kerlinger outlines similar steps. For example, how does a research process go ahead? First of all, there is identification of the research problem. In the very beginning, there must be the problem. Without problem, there is no research, obviously. And if you have problem at your hand, that is the opportunity that opens the door to carry out the research to investigate that study. And then, obviously, immediately after identifying the research problem, you go through the literature review. What are the text and review materials and documents and contents are available? Maybe it can be different types of books, journal, policy documents, and case studies, and grey literature, and so on. So then, first, identify the problem, review the literature, develop the theoretical or conceptual framework, formulation of research questions and and selecting population and sample procedures, techniques, and techniques for data collection. After that, what you do is you go for the data, collecting data and analyzing them, whether you analyze them systematic statistically, and statistically, or let's say thematically, and then interpreting findings, finding interpreting ko कुरा छ, drawing conclusions and recommendations, writing the report or thesis. Carlinger emphasizes scientific structure, whereas Kothari emphasizes the practical techniques. So both of them are to some extent regarding the process, they are somehow different with each other. Okay, another important component that you should go through the research when you go through research process or investigation, then obviously you should deal to the limitation of research. And all research has they have the boundaries and common limitation too. For example, time and resource, sampling limitation, research bias, maybe measurement errors, limited generalizability, ethical limitation, theoretical limitations. All those things comes under when you go through the research process. So, real world constraint. Carlinger reminds that the research occurs in real world constraints, so transparency is essential. And okay, thank you very much. This is the fundamentals of research methodology. If you really want to go into this subject, obviously you should deal all those things in details. So I guess this is the final time for the to say to conclude today's session. So but let's go through the summary of a quick revision. Research, first of all, what we discussed today is research is obviously systematic, empirical, theory guided, and this is the inquiry. Research types are inductive, deductive, basic, applied, qualitative, quantitative, mixed, exploratory, participatory. And obviously, the objective of the research are generate knowledge, test theory, solve problems. Research problem gap needing inquiry, rationally is justification. Research questions guide, hypothesis test, relationship, research process, problem, literature, design, data, analysis, report, limitation, sampling bias, resources generation or error. Thank you very much for your beautiful attention and time. Thank you very much. I will come to the next topic, that is, literature review of literature in the next video. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great time. Good night.